Hello and welcome to DetroitNews.com. It's that time of year again. Spring training is right around the corner. I'm Tony Paul of the Detroit News, and this is my esteemed colleague Tom Gage, the beat writer for the Tigers. And let's just get right into it. Tom, can you recall a time where there's been this much excitement and anticipation ahead of the Tigers arriving in spring training?
Frankly, Tony, not even close. You know, I've been thinking about that a lot recently. 1984 wasn't like this. 2006 wasn't like this. I think the signing of Prince Fielder has catapulted everybody into the excitement, but they were excited about this team anyway. But no, this is the loudest, most prolonged buzz I think people have about this team going into spring training.
Yeah, that's true. Ticket sales are up. I mean, there's a lot of excitement. Well, let's talk right about Prince Fielder signing, what that does, and let's get right into the issues. That forces Miguel Cabrera to play third base. It's been the big topic of conversation for the last 2 weeks. Some people say there's no way he can do it, and some people say, well, he's going to hit so many home runs, it's not going to matter how his defense is. Do you think that that could be problematic for the Tigers?
Yes, I do, but I still think, you know, basically I'm on both sides. Yes, I think he's going to hit enough home runs and produce enough offensively for it not to matter. Is he going to play, is he going to be adequate at third? I'd frankly be surprised based on what I saw when he first came to the team and how fast they had to move him out of the position. First of all, I think there's such a thing as third base conditioning and third base shape. I don't think he was in it. I don't think he's been in it as a Tiger. His range will be, you know, between him and Johnny Peralta at short. There's going to be a lot of balls that get through there. But is it a move that I would have made? Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're getting that big bat in the lineup right next to him. It's one of the best 3-4 combinations we've seen in baseball in a long, long time. But if Miguel Cabrera can't play third, what is the fallback plan?
Well, I think they're going to go with a plan, have him play third until it's absolutely conclusive that he can't. First of all, if he can't play third, it's going to disappoint him immensely, and you don't want that on his mind. So is that even a worse effect than him playing third badly? Probably. I mean, he doesn't want to disappoint anybody. And as Jim Leland said, he wants to show the world that he can play third, and I think that they'll give him every opportunity. The fallback will be Brandon Inge.
Yeah. And Cabrera would do mostly DHing, or
probably
would him and Prince share that duty?
No, I don't think Prince wants anything to do with DH at all, and I think he doesn't. That's not in his plans.
Right. Well, let's talk about one of the other big issues going into spring camp is the fifth starter. You know, a lot of people talk about the fifth starter. It's, you know, there's nobody that conclusive that has that job. I say if fifth starter is your biggest problem going into camp, you're a pretty good ball club. But about the fifth starter, there's about 5 or 6 guys going for that spot that are within the organization. Who emerges as the fifth starter?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Jacob Turner is the leader, the off-season leader for the spot. But I don't think, even Dave Dombrowski says, is he ready for it? He doesn't know. So it is going to be wide open. They do like Drew Smiley, a left-hander. He's going to get a shot. They've got a guy like Dwayne Belo who, you know, if they go with somebody that they know pretty well, he probably would be the guy. Andrew Oliver. What's interesting though, and important, is that if Turner doesn't win it, they're going to go with a left-hander. And frankly, that's a very interesting thought for this rotation. It's something that they need.
Yeah, they haven't. Yeah, that's a good point. They could use a left-hander with Turner. They're all right-handed. So, well, that'll be interesting to see who emerges from that. Did you see anything from Turner last year that makes you think that he should be or will be the guy that gets that job? He made a few starts up here, nothing big. But
no, nothing big and nothing really all that good. I mean, he's a kid. He really is a kid, and they don't want to force feed him. I think in their heart of hearts, they're thinking he's going to be ready a year from now, not necessarily now. And they don't know that if they have him pitch at the big leagues this year, they haven't decided whether or not that's rushing him. So yes, he has great stuff. Excellent stuff, major league stuff probably for many years. But I don't know that and I believe them, that they don't know that he's ready.
Yeah, and they might look to the case of Rick Porcello and how young he came up, and maybe they don't want to force Turner to come up quite as soon as they made Porcello come up for a full-time job. Let's talk about a couple other players you think you need to see something from this spring. Austin Jackson. What does everybody need to see from him?
Well, you know, what they need to see from him this spring is that he's going back to right field with his hitting. You know, a lot of the emphasis a year ago was, oh, is he going to hit for more power? Never mind the power. Spray the ball. Go up the middle. Go to right field. He had a significant number fewer hits to right last year than he did the year before. And he needs to set the table for the guys behind him. And Jim Leland's already called him the key to the offense. I'm not sure that I agree with that, with the boppers that they have behind him, but he's certainly one of the keys.
Sure, I mean, he sets the tone. In 2010, he really set the tone a lot for that offense. When he got on base, he scored a bunch. And with those guys coming behind him, I mean, that could be a legitimate case.
Going back to 1984, they were first and third all the time with Whitaker and Trammell, and they can be first and third again with Jackson and Bosch, because with Bosch as at the number 2 spot, a ground ball through the hole up to center or right, up the middle or to right field, and Jackson's on third base.
Yeah, Bosch, another big key coming off of injury. But you just look at that lineup though, 2 through 5, even 6 and 7. Can you recall a lineup that, in your time covering the Tigers, that has this much force?
No, I really can't. And not only that, but this much balance. You know, they're not going to be vulnerable to any particular left-hander or right-hander because they alternate. And that's the way that Leland can go, right, left, and that's what every manager likes.
Right. Well, and you know, there's a lot of talent on this team, a lot of MVP candidates, and they had 4 guys that finished in the top 12 of the MVP voting last year. There's a lot of star power, but great expectations lend yourself to great disappointments. As we saw in 2008, will this team win the American League Central? Right now,
easy.
Yeah.
By at least 10 games.
At least 10.
Yeah, they won by 15 last year. I almost said by more than 15, but that's a stretch. I mean, somebody's going to be decent in the American League Central. I don't know who it's going to be just now, but I think they'll win the division easily.
Yeah, I tend to agree. There's just not a lot of competition in the division right now. These teams are down. The Indians and Royals are on the rise, but I'm not sure they're quite ready to break out. Well, I think that's all with the time we have for today to talk about spring training. Tom's got to get on a plane here and get down to Lakeland. So thanks for watching, and be sure to check out DetroitNews.com throughout spring training for Tom's reports and reports from Lynn Henning all spring long.